Call this meeting to order. I do have a little comment. Stacy gets a lot of emails, requests for me to do different things. And I agreed to this one. I wasn't sure why at first. This is the Seaforth Seniors Diners Club. So they asked me to show up and speak between 45 minutes and an hour. And I was speaking right after they got fed. Now, I was supposed to speak about municipal politics for an hour to a bunch of seniors that had just been fed. And I thought this may not go well. I was shocked. It went fantastic. And I'm going to tell you, whoever sits in this chair again, they should do it at least once a term. It was really good. There was probably between 40 and 50 people there. There was people there from Brussels, people there from Seaforth. I don't know where else, but some of the people had mentioned they were from Brussels area too. I spoke for the first 40 minutes and that was the first time I even looked up at the clock and didn't realize 40 minutes had already gone by. Nobody was sleeping. And at that point, I had more I want to talk about, but I wanted to give them the opportunity. So I had them ask questions and they asked a lot of relevant questions about things that council has dealt with in the last couple of years. And then it was supposed to be 45 minutes to an hour tops. And it was a little after 2 o'clock. I started just before 1. A little after 2 o'clock, the lady that had organized the whole thing came and kicked me out because she said they had to clean up and get moving on. But it was really good. And I appreciated the invite. And I think they appreciated just hearing of everything that's going on in the municipality. So it was good. Enjoyed that. We would like to acknowledge that the land we stand upon today is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the neutral peoples. Under confirmation of the agenda, I'm going to read the motion first because it is changed, that the agenda for the regular meeting of council dated May 12, 2026 be adopted as circulated with the addition of a closed session to discuss personal matters about an identifiable individual and labor relations. Can I have a mover and a seconder for that motion, please? Councillor Fisher, Councillor Dalton. And all those in favor. And motion carries. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest from any member of council this evening? Saying none. Minutes of the previous meeting. Can I give a mover and a seconder? Councillor Chartrand, Deputy Mayor, that the council of the municipality of Huron East approve the following council meeting minutes as circulated. That's the regular meeting of April 28, 2026 and the Committee of Adjustment public hearing on April 28th of 2026. Is there any adjustments that need to be made to those minutes? Saying none, all those in favor. Motion carries. There are a number of items listed under the consent agenda. Is there anything that anybody would like to have pulled? Councillor Wilby.
Yeah, just to comment on 6.9, restructuring Heritage and Arena. I'm in Heritage. Just wanted to say we do a lot online. Some of our members are away in the winter, but everybody usually looks to see what's going on and we approve of stuff online. And then I have more to say on Heritage later on under other boards. And then if we were going to restructure something, I was just thinking we should maybe look at CHIP and whether it's worthwhile.
Okay.
That's my other committee.
Okay.
So that's all I have to say about that.
Do you want to put that on an agenda to discuss the CHIP? Because I think that's a valid statement. If you're the member attending and you're not sure that it's worth the while, then you're the one that really should be sharing the information with council. So should we just put that on a future agenda for discussion?
Sure.
Okay.
I would just say CHIP isn't one of our committees that we organize or are directed over. I believe that we were just asked to have a representation of council on that, so it might be more of a Huron based committee, not so much that we could have control over whether or not it would continue or not.
I don't think the question is whether it continues or not, it's whether
We should have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether we would.
Attend or not.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And I also think it overlaps with what John does with the police services, which we didn't used to have.
Right. So that is just a request to cover that on the future. Thank you. Is there anything else in the listed? See, Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No, I just want to make a comment on the administration minutes as well, and I believe it's gonna come up later on anyway, but I was a little worried about doing away entirely with the rec board, but I'm assuming we can discuss that later on.
Absolutely.
If you want,
Yeah.
I just have some thoughts about that, so.
Okay. If there is nothing else that anybody wants pulled, can I have a mover and a seconder to accept? Moved by Councillor Deal, second by Councillor Morrison. Turn the page here properly. That the consent agenda items be received for information and approved. All those in favor? Motion carries. Under public meetings, hearings and delegations, we have a delegation from Wood on behalf of the Seaforth Lawn Bowling Club. So I'm gonna remind Mr. Wood and council both at the same time. Delegation, please come forward. You can do your presentation. It is a presentation to council. It's not a debate with council. If council has questions, they are able to ask questions for more information. If this is not a time when council would make a decision, if council wants to address something, then what they would do is ask staff at some point to provide a report back to council for discussion. Welcome.
We're just, since the grant went through with the accessibility grant there, we decided that we were gonna go through with more renovation. We have been fundraising, or sorry, asking for donations, not really fundraising, I guess. And we have picked up a fair bit of money, and we're expecting to put in, we've already installed a lot of this stuff, so maybe we're not allowed to ask for any more money. But we put in a heat pump, and you have already agreed to pay for portions of the flooring and ceiling, I believe, on the last request. And we're running with, not with the ceilings, that's what we're asking for this time, for the heat pump and the ceiling we put in. The total cost was over $9,000. And we're willing to put in the 4,500 more that we put in for the first one we asked for, back a month ago, 2 months ago. We're just wondering if the council would be willing to go half with us to bring it up to date.
Are there any questions of council at this time? Councillor Sharkman.
I have a few questions, so I wanted to get a good understanding of what was done with what money. So grant number one, correct me if I'm wrong, grant number one got 2 brand new washrooms, one of them accessible.
That's got nothing to do with us.
None
That
of
was
them,
through the municipality applied for that grant, not us,
excuse me. It's still work done
to the club.
to the club.
Yes,
So grant number one.
Yeah.
Got brand new washrooms, new toilets, sinks. Got all the cement poured for the accessibility. Got new ramp at the west end, a new porch and ramp. That was grant number one.
Yeah.
Grant number two, which we gave to you out of the grant program, $5,350, was because the flooring in the washroom ended and you wanted to continue new flooring.
right,
And that, we covered that.
Yeah.
So your club in 2026 so far has received $63,000 in grant for your club. Now, when I was there today, I noticed the heat pump was put in. The lighting was all put in. A brand new kitchen, all new kitchen cupboards, countertop, all brand new. Is this what you're asking the municipality to pay half for, all that stuff that you've already bought and paid for?
the grant, the second grant you said was for the flooring in the kitchen, is what you paid for, half of it. Or more than half, if it was, right?
We paid for that.
And that building has never had any heat, air conditioner, nothing. We felt that we should try to get it. And we have raised a fair bit of money. We're still short a couple thousand, but we're just trying to save ourselves some money. We are, in a sense, keeping your building up or our building up to more or less. None of these are most likely ever been in the building before. Any of this renovations were done. And it was there's never been anything but the roof done in that building since, and I've been there 27 years. And there's never everything been, but the two roofs put on.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a handle as to what grant covered what, and I was
Yeah,
surprised to see everything else. So the heat pump's already been bought and paid for.
no, it was ordered and put in, yes. We collected money to help cover it, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions of council? Councillor Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Rick, how much has the club fundraised itself this year?
So far for these renovations, we're over $10,000.
Is that money you previously had? and then
No,
you-
no, I've got around from businesses and local people, has donated money towards it. And 4,500, we haven't gave it to the treasurer yet, but it's, once Star comes back tonight, it'll be most likely be here this week. So the money that we're putting into the town to pay for the cost of the stuff that's being done. We just sort of asking if we can have a bit more help, that we have a little bit extra left over, maybe that we can update the building.
So specifically, the numbers were a little unclear when I was listening to it. You have half of the 9,000?
We've got 9,000,
Whatever it was?
we've got a little over 10,000 handed in, but we still have to pay Alexon for the lighting yet, and it was for near 1,100.
Mhm. So. Okay, you have, I'm a little confused, sorry, please.
The total cost is gonna be around $15,000,
And
and we're not there yet,
And you've raised over 10.
yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council? Okay, seeing none at this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, going on, we are down to municipal drains and, drain 2607, section 4 petition under the Drainage Act for the Nash Drain. Can I get a mover and a seconder, and then I'll read the motion. Moved by Councillor Deal, second by Deputy Mayor, that the council accept a petition for the construction of a new branch to the Nash Municipal Drain and appoint Dietrich Engineering Limited to prepare a drainage report. Any questions? All those in favor? Motion carries. Reports and recommendations of municipal officers. I guess I turn this over to Sean.
So, just a recommendation that the council approves, Stephen Evans for the paving contract for Canada Company. We had 4 bidders for our tenders. Stephen Evans was the lowest bid, coming in well under budget. And any questions about the paving?
I only had 2, but I'll let the council go first. Did council have any questions? Councillor Deal.
Yes, thank you. Sean, what section of Canada Company Road's being done?
From North Line to Beechwood.
Thank you.
Any other questions? There was only 2. One, had we ever used them before?
They paved Sports Drive in Brussels for Curtis Smith a couple years ago.
Okay. I was kind of surprised it was so much under budget with the cost of fuel right now.
Just to give some context to that, in not the last paving tender, so last year it came in just maybe a little bit under 700,000 when we were all said and done. The previous year was almost $900,000 that. So that's kind of where that budget sat in our capital plan, and then you indexed it for cost of living.
Oh, okay.
And then that's how you ended up at 967, right? And then without overcorrecting for last year, which was at 6, like in the mid 600s, right? And then this year was even less. You know, as far as the cost going down, given the fuel, I think that's really a better indication of competition in the large
Okay.
I think that's it. Like for a lot of years, it was almost exclusively Lavis, and now we're starting to see other companies. Just with the technology that's available, they can keep the asphalt hot longer, they can travel longer distances. So you start to see other companies offer the same service.
Good, thank you. I have a mover and a seconder, all those in favor? And motion carries. Community Improvement Program grant receipts.
Hold on, I don't recall a mover and a seconder.
Oh, I did have one. Did I not before I read it?
Could I have it again, please?
Okay, Counselor Chartran and Counselor Deal. I
Thank
apologize
you.
if I missed it.
That's okay. I was ready to type, but I didn't quite have it.
Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
So council had budgeted $50,000 this year towards the community improvement program. This is the same amount that was offered last year. And then it was increased to 50,000 from 20,000 the year prior. So this year we had 18 applications come through during our intake period, which was March 23rd to April 23rd. These applications included 10 facade improvements, 6 signage improvements, 1 accessibility improvement, and 1 residential conversion project. The residential conversion program was new this year. The community improvement program committee had approved that program for 2026. And the total grant request coming in this year was $62,833.34. So we are, the Community Improvement Program Committee is recommending that the following projects be approved. So under the facade program, 1 Main Street South, 220 Main Street South, 6 to 8 Main Street South, 570 Turnberry Street, 424 Turnberry Street, 38 First Ave, Vanastra, 59 to 61 Main Street South, 19 to 27 Main Street South. Under the signage program, 235 Turnberry Street, 251 Albert Street, 43195 Amberley Road, 13 Church Street, 570 Turnberry Street, and 13 Main Street South. And under the residential conversion program, 461 to 469 Turnberry Street. And that's in Russell's.
Questions of council? Terrell, can you remind me where this funding comes from? We basically give them funding, but it gets paid back on their taxes over the years. Is that the way it works?
No, so this is a grant program. So they are given this grant and they have to match it 50-50. So we give them 50% of the eligible costs. And they put in 50%.
Okay, Councilor Chartran?
So of the ones that you're recommending for approval, does that take us to the $50,000 limit?
We're just shy of the 50,000, so we're just sitting at just over 48,000.
Okay, thank you. So we're in budget then, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Councilor Steffler?
Yeah, and just for the rest of the council, thanks, Carolyn. I noticed today on YouTube, you had the before and after. I'm not sure who did the audio video of it, but it's really good. You can see projects from last year that where they were to where they are, so the completed stuff. So, you know, very good that you put the results on the world to see.
We've had very good success with the program, and this is, the 3rd year, so.
Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you to Carolyn. Carolyn, how long do they have to do these projects?
So they have until the end of the year to complete their project. Last year, we had 3 projects that did not get completed, actually just 2. We had 3 that were maybe, but it ended up being just 2 projects. So they just didn't have a contractor in time. So those projects are getting completed as well. 1 is already done, but.
And once they get done, do you inspect them then to see what was done? Is there any sort of making sure they spent the money wisely type thing, or?
Yeah, so they enter into an agreement with us for the funding. And there's conditions put on that agreement. So if they're a heritage building, they have to apply to the Heritage Committee and have that approved.
If they need a building permit, a signage permit, they have to get those permits. And then, as a follow-up, they submit their invoices. And we make sure that the, expenses match the eligible expenses. And then they're granted the funds.
Great, thank you very much.
Any other questions of council? Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Fisher, second by Councillor Wilby. That the council of the municipality of Huron East approve the applications and grant requests to the community improvement program as listed in EDO 2603. All those in favor? And motion carries. The Brussels Girl Guide Facility Use Agreement. We've had this discussion in the past. Is there any discussion that council would like to have with what is presented? Can I get a mover and a seconder to accept? Councillor Deal, Councillor Newell. The facility use agreement be signed with the Brussels Girl Guides for the use of the basement of the Brussels Library. All those in favor? And motion carries. KC Street Eats request to operate refreshment vehicle on municipal property, the Brussels Municipal Parking Lot. Any discussion of council? Councillor Stafford.
So just for a quick clarification, we've already given them the permit. This is really just because it's on municipal property.
Correct, they
Thank
need
you.
permission, yeah.
Any other questions? Councillor Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To Jessica, please, I forget, what's the charge for an annual one?
It was 500.
Well, I thought we had a big debate about that and it wasn't. Okay, thank you.
We've had several, we have two options, they can do it per use, which I believe is $250, and then for a whole year is 500.
Thank you.
Can I get a mover and a seconder for the request? Councillor Chartrand, Councillor Stuffler. That the KC Street Eats be authorized to operate their food truck at the Brussels Municipal Parking Lot. Just one last thing before I call this, if in fact we have any concerns down the road, they're technically getting permission for the summer. What recourse do we have with that?
I would say this only applies to their permit for this year.
Yeah, but what I'm more concerned about is
Garbage, bathroom.
that was actually more my concern is if there was a garbage or something blowing around, not that they were littering, but if you've got garbage pails, it's a breezy day and stuff's blowing around and they're not cleaning up. And we get complaints from the neighborhood, we don't want to be paying our bylaw officer to come out on a regular basis. What kind of recourse does?
Do you have those conditions about operating in general in the food truck bylaw? So there is tickets that can be issued right away too.
Okay.
We could also revoke, if it's on this land, we can revoke that permission as we see there as well, so they wouldn't be able to operate on that piece.
I think it's not a bad thing to have something that attracts people right to Main Street in Brussels. That's a good thing. I just don't want garbage blowing around Main Street or Brussels either, so. All those in favor of the motion? And motion carries. Correspondence. Is there anything there? Nothing from anybody.
Or we just have listed the Brussels Optimist Club, so just a letter from them handing over the batting cage to Huron East, so kind of just a notification or recognition of that project being completed. 11.1, and then we did get some, a letter from Farm and Food Care Ontario for their breakfast on the farm, so just stating that we have no objection to that event that would be happening.
Now, they also asked if there was a permit needed. There was nothing for them. Okay.
It's a special event process that we would go through with them.
Okay. Can I get a motion for 11.2, the Food and Farm Care Ontario please? Moved by Councillor Morrison, second by Councillor Deal, that the council of the municipality of Huron East has no objection in regards to the breakfast on the farm event hosted by Farm and Food Care Ontario on July 25th of 2026. All those in favor? And motion carries. And we are down to council member reports, and I will turn to the deputy mayor for county council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So our last meeting, Jim again, county councillor, he's also a board member for SWIFT, and SWIFT is a company responsible for installing internet throughout the county. Right now, SWIFT is in the process of doing a cellular study They're conducting this by drive testing to measure what kind of, how good that your cell phone is actually working. They're doing this now as leaves begin to form on trees. They want to make sure that everybody's getting good cellular coverage by this. It's by doing this, it's building a clearer picture of current coverage across southwestern Ontario. We approved a grant application from Rural Ontario Development Grant, or ROD, I believe it is, for window replacement at the Huron County Jail and the jail keeper's residence. The cost of this project is about $375,000. We do have, I think, $325 in the budget right now to cover this, but the grant, if approved, can be about $35,000 or 35% of that cost, which would translate to about $87,000 if we're successful in getting that grant. We talked about the Huron County lobbying strategy, and we had a progress report showing how we're making it with that. Our priorities have been to increase provincial funding and equal funding through to rural communities, and an end or try to reduce provincial downloading. We also talked about the Huron Hospice and a delegation at AMO. Godrich and Central Huron are taking the lead on this, asking for a delegation, and everyone else can join or will be asked to join in. The Western Ontario Wardens Caucus, through our correspondence in our agenda, are quite concerned with Bill 100 and are lobbying the government about their concerns with changing council sizes, appointed wardens, strong mayor powers being awarded to them appointed heads. So that's an ongoing process with that. So.
Are there any questions, the deputy mayor? Okay, I'm seeing none. Other boards, committees, meetings, and seminars? Who will be?
Yeah, so on May sixth, the Heritage Committee met. And we have a new secretary, Grace Mayhew is taking Megan's place. And she did a really good job of researching things and bringing it to us. We have a fair amount of money that we can help people with that belongs to Heritage. I can tell you that figure. I don't know if I should or not. So am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
It's 46,000. And we feel that if people, such as the person who applied for the loan and grant program at 59 and 61 Main, you can see the construction going on. If they want to improve their buildings, we think that's great because it's really, owning a heritage building is very expensive. And we're really happy that these people are following the rules and using the right paint and so like I said, we do a lot online approving signs and whether windows are bought and replaced and what they're doing with them and that sort of thing. So we want to make sure that people know that there are incentive programs that assist heritage properties and tax reductions up to 20%. It's in this brochure that was made up, whether they forgot about it or don't do it. We'd like to encourage people to ask about it because we really like to see our properties kept up. And this person also applied for CIP. She was gonna do one side of the building 1 year and then the other side. And so it didn't work out. And so she got the money for the whole thing and that was great. And we're helping her out with our incentive. And I guess that's all I was gonna say about that.
I think I was confusing that program with Tara Lynn's earlier, but
Oh, it's the same thing.
so, but this one does have a tax reduction then, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I knew there was one there that did
And
that.
Carolyn was at the meeting as well as Denise. And Denise is figuring out our costs. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I spoke with her. She's not sure if she's gonna continue with the loan application, so she's
just gonna let me know when she knows.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like I say, these things are available and, we just want to make people aware of it. And this isn't just in Seaporth, there's some heritage, properties in Brussels as well.
Although there's not many municipalities in the county that do this. Cause I remember talking about this at county council one time and the other municipalities were shocked. That we actually did something with a reduction in property taxes to have people upgrade their buildings.
Mhm.
Any other boards, committees, meetings, or seminars from anybody else? Councillor Chartrand.
And just for awareness, Friday, May 22nd, I'm off to Owen Sound. We're having our first transition team meeting for the way they want to lay out conservation. Each conservation will be allowed 2 people to represent transition teams, so it'll be myself and Davin, the general manager from the Sabo. I'm not sure, Alvin, who's gonna be on.
Yeah, I believe they have their chair and
So this is gonna be the first kick at the cat and we'll see. We'll see what outcome, information at the next council meeting.
Councillor Stefler.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Police Services Board meeting is May 25th. If any questions need to arise for services. The zone meeting is being held in Clinton at Central Huron on June the 6th. And the Police Services Board conference is June 2nd for everything going on with new services boards and that in Niagara Falls. If anything needs anything like that, reach out.
Are there any recommendations of the administration committee? Oh, recommendations of the administration committee, sorry, we have a motion here. And I'll read the motion. It was that the administration committee recommend to council to keep status quo with the committees, with the exception of combining the administration committee and the personnel committee. I know that one's been asked about here before. Second part was that the administration committee recommend to council that the recreation advisory committee be eliminated and that staff be directed to implement a department contact board for comments, suggestions, or similar feedback mechanism at each recreational facility. I'm not surprised there wants to be some discussion. I can say that if not, I think every single member that was on the committee to have this discussion has all sat on the recreation boards. So it's not that we were flying blind, but absolutely, if there's some concerns, we want to discuss them. Deputy Mayor, you had a question.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I guess my concern was about the Recreation Committee, and I understand the thinking behind it and why we want to eliminate it. But I still think we need something, and I don't know what it is. And I think we're losing our contact with our individual arenas. If I may, I could ask Councillor Newell how they do something like this in North Perth. Or do they have recreation committees where the public is involved?
Yes, so we meet every 3 months. And it is I think there's 8 people on it in order to make quorum, 2 councillors, and then director of facilities and programs as well. So we meet, we go over capital budget forecasting for the next 10 years and projects that people would like to see completed. We're working on our Parks and Rec master plan right now, and that group would have say in the surveys and stuff that we do that way. So we find it a pretty valuable thing to have where we can get people together from all walks of life and all different demographics to just have a say in what happens as far as recreation and programming.
Thank you, and sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no problem.
But I just think we're missing something like that if we do away with this. And now I do know we have a recreation study well on the way. Maybe we should just sit back and wait until that comes along. But I just would like to see the public involved in a recreation centers as well, just recreation as a whole.
I really want to debate. I'm not gonna jump in here, other than the fact, I'm gonna go to the members of council first. But the reason it got raised is because we have a rec committee. And the public are going, we've never met. And we're going, because we didn't have anything for them to discuss. Because the user groups is a different group altogether. They take care of their own organizations. We've changed the structure of how it works. And for us, when I used to sit on the committee, and I kind of got the opinion from other people here, is that, you know, you'd always ask about the budget, but the budget was the budget. It was already set. You didn't make changes to the budget once it was already there. So what was actually happening at those meetings? And I haven't sat on the Brussels. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I did attend a few at one time, but I've certainly sat on Seaforth for a number of years, and I sat on Benaster for a number of years. And I can tell you, all three of them did operate differently, no doubt about it. But it got raised because it was the public members that we appointed to them said, we haven't even had a meeting, because we never had to have a meeting. There wasn't something that needed to be addressed by what the intent of, or what we thought the intent of that committee was. Councillor Chartrand.
Yeah, and I agree with the administration meeting. The one thing that I thought was a great idea was having the information posted as to who to call or email in each facility. If they had a suggestion or a recommendation, this is the residents we're talking about now. So you still get their feedback that way. But I do believe if we go with this, we still need to understand what's going on in our facilities, whether it is a quarterly update. Like we get from, we get a monthly update from the fire department. We get an update from the CBAO. Maybe we get a quarterly update, what's going on in each facility, what, you know, that type of stuff, so that at least we can keep updated as to what's going on there. Is what I would recommend.
Councillor Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's where I was at too. I had second thoughts after I got home from the meeting, not to micromanage it by any means, but just like Councillor Chartrand said, an update of where they're at with usage and maybe new programming, what's in general, what's happening. Quarterly would be fine if that was too onerous 3 times a year, but I would like to know what's going on. Especially when we put a fair bit of coin into those 3 buildings. Thank you.
Councillor Stepler.
Thank you. I kind of agree with Deputy Mayor that we're spending a fair bit of money getting a community services study going on, and that could be one of the focal points, I believe, of just going back and letting them be aware of how our current structure is and what they see around and what would work. We have to trust our staff. They see what's going on every day. I do like the idea of some boards there for communication. But ultimately, I would like to wait on this motion to see what the recommendation is coming back from the study that we're paying for.
And I have no problem with that, because it's 6 of one, half a dozen
We're not
of the
meeting
other.
now anyway.
We're not meeting anyways. So by not passing this motion, it changes absolutely nothing about the overall operation. Although if you have a request that you want updated information, that is Dave's responsibility. That's the work that he does. So either ask for a report or him to come to council quarterly to update you, but let him be aware of the information that you're looking for. Correct. So he can bring it on a regular basis. Okay, so there was 2 parts to this. It sounds like you want to hold off on dismantling the rec board at this point until after the study. And that's fine. And the other one was that we combine both the administration and the personnel committees. Councillor Stephan.
I just add one thing to that. With the existing members from the community on the rec boards, can we send them a quick email or a correspondence of some sort, just letting them know what's going on, please?
Yeah, our plan was to send any correspondence of what the future might look at it, and I would also just put in there that they are being contacted to have specific workshops with that group as part of the master plan work that's being done as well. So they will be getting similar engagement letters that what council and staff would have received. But we can always reach out and let them know that no decisions are being made about the committee as of yet, but to fully participate in the master plan feedback as well.
So, oh. No, I'm just, I just wanna know what the motion is that I'm actually gonna be reading here, that's all. So. It's just the first one and we just don't bother with the second one at all, that's what we do. Okay, so the first one is that the administration committee recommended council to keep the status quo with committees with the exception of combining the administration committee and the personnel committee. I have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Chartres and second by Councillor McGrath. All those in favor? And motion carries. Are there any requests by members at this time? Councillor Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our discussion last week about the CT machine and the number of them in the county. And I wondered then, your position on the Huron Perth board, if there's anything else coming down the line that might benefit Seaforth Hospital, or is something we could discuss with the trust and the foundation in the future, just to maintain its vitality, or some new kind of procedure test or whatever that we could have in Seaforth. And then I remember asking, might even been last term, if we could have a annual report from the HPHA on just what's going on in Seaforth. And with the HPHA, it's an integral part of our community, the hospital. And all the ones I knew up there have retired, so I don't get any information. I think the community and the council should be getting information just about it, how things are.
So if you wanted a report from HPHA, would that be Andrew?
I don't know, or would it be the person who's the head here?
We've generally had it with Andrew, has come and done a delegation.
Andrew came a couple of years ago, but
Yeah.
just once.
I would imagine he only comes when he's invited. If we haven't invited him, he won't come back.
Well, is that something that the rest of the council would like to know, with what's going on? Do we want regular semi-annual or annual input on what's happening in healthcare in Huron East?
Councillor Stepler?
Yeah, I'd like that, Councillor Fisher. I think it's important that we have a knowing of what's going on in our hospital, even if it's a report to council, even when our consent agendas or something, just not sure they need a delegation, but it's something to report of what's happening.
Okay. Which way do you prefer it, Bob?
I'd like to ask questions, but if that's not the case, then as Don suggested,
If your request is to either have someone local or Andrew, come, just make that and, we can vote on it.
and what do the other 10 think? In person?
I think the vote in person would be good.
Like, certainly you get the opportunity to ask a question if you want to, and if your concerns, about putting other things into the Seaforth Hospital to make sure that it's viable going forward, then certainly asking Andrew is the person to ask.
Right.
Okay, I would make a motion that we request HPHA make an annual, semi-annual or annual presentation to Huron East Council about the operations of the of the hospital in Seaforth.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Deal? Any other comments or questions? All those in favor? As far as your other comment about me being the chair of public health and the hospitals are two completely different animals.
Yep.
And so there's nothing that I can really share, other than the fact that the one thing I can share is probably going in the wrong direction for you. But one of the big movements is to allow pharmacies to do a lot of the stuff that doctors used to do, and overall, it's beneficial for the community because it's a lot more convenient. You're not making a doctor's appointment. You can get a lot of shots, vaccinations, things like that, that they never could in the past. Which I think on behalf of the public, it is a good move.
Yeah.
But it certainly does make less visits to your doctor. If you've got something in particular that I could dig into, Bob, I'd be more than happy to.
I'm looking for you to be the guru.
Okay. Where were they at here? That was request by members. Are there any other requests by anybody? Seeing none, any notices of motion at this time? Councillor McGrath.
I'm gonna request, make a motion that the fire alarm be reinstalled at the fire hall. It's been removed. It now resides in a garage not far from the fire hall. And I would request that it be reinstalled because the firemen want it. 99% of the public want it. And the proper alteration be made to bring it into compliance. Because even if it's installed down there, there might be any harm done to it because it's away from the people who complain to us. We have the facility, we have the pole, whatever you wish, you own the property. That would be my request, so that's what I would like to see.
I would gladly second that.
Well, it's already officially, it'll be in next meeting's minutes. As a motion for discussion for council.
Okay.
That's what notice of motion is.
So I gotta wait till.
You gotta wait 2 weeks.
Thanks, appreciate that.
Are there any other notices of motion at this time? Oh, Councillor Fisher.
Thank you, Commissioner. Not a notice of motion, it's the delegations. Are there any other delegations that any councillors think would be pertinent for AMO besides going as Minister of Health? Is there any wants or requests? Spend all day with municipal affairs, but I didn't know if there was anything we're looking for grants for public works or et cetera. But it has to be in by end of May, I think, and we don't have another. I guess we do have another.
one more council.
Yeah, we have one more council meeting. So if councilors, if you could think about that, please, for the next council meeting.
Sorry, if I can just clarify, the delegation requests are finished May 22nd and.
That's what I thought.
And the next meeting's not till May 26th.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This was our last chance.
Yeah, think about it.
I think if somebody, does it have to be a motion of council or can someone contact CAO, Mr. Mayor?
Typically, it's a motion of council to get a consensus to make a request. And I won't be here for the next meeting, but it should be done before the next meeting
Yeah.
anyways. I don't know if we've ever done it any other way.
No, we haven't. We've always done it as a consensus around the council table. Because you're advocating as on the whole of council.
That's right.
It's good that you bring it up here though, Bob, because at the last county council meeting, I remembered we had to ask about something. But I couldn't remember what it was, so I brought up the issue that we had to talk about something and I turned it over to Alvin for him to remember.
Well, the only trouble is right now, there's so many big things going on right now. Like, who do you tackle, right? You know, between healthcare and conservation authorities and this Bill 100. Like Bob says, like, Ministry of Municipal Affairs, like they're gonna be full, but then I'm sure there's gonna be some talk of that at the Bear Pit or anything like that. But are we gonna gain any traction there now? I just hope that the
It'll be
county,
the same song they've heard.
yes,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Councilor McGrath.
Is there any update on the nursing home, seniors home, the hospital? I had a comment from a local contractor. Who was, it sounded like maybe some construction company or whatever had been in touch with them about locals and different things. But we've heard nothing if the government's approved it or any of that. So is there anything, or is it hush hush under the table? It's like shut your mouth and go away under the table, okay? There you go, got it.
There may be information that staff can share with you in a non-open session.
Non-open. I mean, it's just personal. Okay.
Are there any announcements by anybody at this time? Counselor Chartrand?
Yeah, let make team aware here. So our grant program at the Cedar Fork Trust was completed and we have already issued some checks. Last week, we went to hospice and donated $5,000 for their musical therapy program. We've given the BIA $2,500 for flowers on Main Street. We gave the BIA $5,000 for Summerfest on Main Street. And we wrote a check today for $10,000 for our support for the splash pad in Seaport.
Can I ask a question, Counselor Chartrand? You said you gave money to the Huron Hospice for the music program?
We did.
I attended an event there. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before, when in fact the music program was brought in and all the equipment and everything else. I thought at that time it was fully funded and had been paid for.
I don't, it might be a different program. This is the second year that we fully funded it and it's Miss McBride is her name. And she comes in and sings and plays the guitar and goes room to room and sometimes brings in other entertainment for the residents that are at the hospice.
Okay.
So it's fully funded by the trust year after year. This is our third year, or pardon me, our fourth year. Some of you don't recall, the trust donated $100,000 to the splash pad. $10,000 per year for 10 years for maintenance, I guess. So this is our fourth year of that, so.
Any other announcements? I just have one. I again will be missing the next council meeting, so hopefully the deputy mayor is available for that.
Hurry back, we'll miss you.
I'm going for a while this time.
Not gonna know.
We are down to bylaws and
Other business would be.
well, that's up to council. There was a delegation tonight. If somebody wants to carry on the discussion with that, then we should be asking staff for a report. Councilor Deal.
I was just thinking, we could use a little bit of background information, like a financial, where their money's come from, where it's gone to, that type of thing. Is that possible to get?
Absolutely. That
It would
should,
just help with the decision, okay?
yeah, I think all of council should be aware of all that information and maybe whatever work we've done in the last 5 or 6 years. Because I know we spent a lot of money on the roof. Another counselor told me that we had done all the fencing and stuff for them a while ago. That was prior to that, but the municipality has put a lot of money in that. Councilor Chartrand?
My comment is for a club to be as successful as they have been this year, getting grant money and all the work they've done. They seem to want to do it all 1 year. And they came to us at the trust meeting asking for money as well, and we directed them back to Lisa to work with her for the 2027 budget. And we already have given them money out of our current grant program this year as well. We only have 5,000 left, I believe. I would like to see that 5,000 stay for the 1 or 2 or 3 people that might come in during the year to ask for some help, because that was the whole idea of what we did. It's not like we didn't give them any money of our grant money. We did give them $5,300 of our 26 grant money, so we have supported them. And Grant A did a lot of work there for them as well, so I'm in the position where we should wait till next year for the 2027 budget.
Councilor Steffer?
Yeah, I think on what Councilor Deal says it too, I think it'd be very valuable for the council around the table to understand what is our building. What have we done? It's part of recreation, let it all, because right now I think it's becoming one group versus, what can we do for them? But it's truly, what have we done as a municipality for that recreational facility? Just happens to house Mumble. So I think we have contributed a fair bit and we consistently and I think we need to put it in our strategic plan to keep it up to date and do that, but I don't think all the council knows what we put in. If we're here tonight, you know, if we haven't put anything in or we put something in, and Councilor Chartrand doesn't, you know, he's asking what did that money go for? So a better understanding would go a long way in, you know, justifying a vote.
Councillor Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I concur with, the three statements. There's also a significant amount of Mr. Hill's time has been spent over there the last month. I think he's in purgatory. He did something wrong. He had to be there so much, so. I would like to see with some operational report on them. Thank you.
I'd certainly like to have that included in the report then, because that's our staff member who does a lot of work around the municipality. And he can't be a private contractor for somebody else for 2 weeks straight.
If it was two, that'd be fine. But, I think it's been a bit more, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Councilor McGrath.
I think you got all the information you need, by the sounds of it, but I got from conversation was the fact that it's done. You put the heating in and everything else, everything's done, with the exception of tidying it up outside. And this hasn't been thrown at us, this is not the first time. We got it from the Brussels Ball Diamond when they did all the work and came back to us after the fact and wanted money. St. Columban Soccer put up the building, came to us, finance, now, it was given back in a loan, I don't know about Brussels. But St. Columban was given back almost in a loan situation where we will, you know, you fundraise and pay us once you get the fundraising back in. So by the sounds of what he was telling us tonight, I think it's done. And I don't know if it's your financial, you know, where the money goes for anything else gonna give you any help, with the exception of John, I get that. Like, we don't know how many hours he has in there. But I would, you know, it could be considered the half that they're asking for be given to them in the form of a loan. The club is a loan to be paid back. Because they've got, the work's done. It's not like they're saving the money to put it in. It's in.
I have a couple of concerns. Part of the discussion in the delegation was they want to leave some money in their pocket after the fact. So getting money from the municipality to leave money in their pocket, to me, is not a good scenario. And I hate the idea of setting any kind of precedent where, well, if we just have some cost overruns, we'll just go to the municipality after the fact. And I think it's beneficial to pass the motion to ask staff to prepare as much information as possible, because whatever decision you make at the end of the day, if you get questioned by anybody outside of the council chambers, it's good to know all the information so that you've got a justification for whatever decision council makes. Yeah, I like the idea of having the information correct. Do I have a mover and a seconder for that? Councillor Deal, Councillor Fisher. All those in favor? And motion carries. Okay, we are down to bylaws. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Deal, second by Councillor Morrison, to approve bylaw 55/2026, a bylaw to authorize Silva use agreement with the Brussels Girl Guides. All in favor? And motion carried. And we are now ready to go into a closed session. Can I have a mover and seconder, Councillor Deal and Councillor Fisher, that a closed meeting of council be held on Tuesday, May 12, 2026 at 6:59 PM in the Town Hall Council Chambers in accordance with section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 for the purpose of the following matters. 16.1 adoption of the April 14, 2026 closed session of council meeting minutes. 16.2 under section 239 paragraph 2 subsection B subsection D. Personnel matters about an identifiable individual and labor relations, and that the CAO Jessica Rudy, Clerk Macon McCallum, and Director of Public Works Sean Bromley remain in the closed session.